So what we'd like to do now is we would like to go back to the previous Bootstrap project we were working on that we built in the last code along. This is the Exceptional Realty Bootstrapped website. So the easiest way to be able to compare the content and actually transplant content from the previous Exceptional Realty site into our now bootstrapped version is just to bring both of them up. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Terminal, and we'll go ahead and change directory into our developer folder, and we'll also change directory into the exceptional-realty-bootstrapped project. Okay. And then I want to go ahead and open up another tab. So I'm going to hit Command T. That's going to open up a new tab, and we'll do cd ... and then we'll do cd exceptional realty to get into the previous responsive website that we built. So this one here will be the completely finished version of the site. And we'll go ahead and bring both of these up in the browser by typing in index.html. So this is the finished Exceptional Realty website that we build in our code alongs, right? And then we also will bring up, if I go back over to the other tab, we'll say open index.html, and we'll bring up our bootstrapped project here as well. Okay, so here is the previous Exceptional Realty project. Here's our bootstrapped project. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring both of these up in Sublime Text as well and say subl dot. And here we can see the Exceptional Realty Bootstrapped project. I'll go ahead and drag this over to the left side of the screen. Okay. And then over here we have the previous Exceptional Realty project. So I'll go ahead and type subl dot to bring that up as well. And we'll just drag this one here over to the right. So you can see that the right side of my screen here is the previous Exceptional Realty project here, the custom responsive site that we built via the code alongs, or we are building, I should say, via the code alongs. And then here we have the bootstrapped project, the new one. Okay. So first thing we want to do is we want to create a new branch, feature branch. So let's go back to the terminal. And we're going to switch to the tab for the bootstrapped project. And currently we're on the master branch. And I want to create a new branch. So we're going to do git checkout -b, and I'm going to call this branch layout. And here we will build all of our page layout for this project. So this way we're on a new branch. It's disposable. If we don't like it later, we can get rid of the branch. All right. So now everything we do here will be on this particular branch. Okay, so first we'll bring up the index page, and here I've already changed the title to Exceptional Realty Group Luxury Homes About. Previously it said Bootstrap template here, and I just went ahead and copied the title from the other previous site, okay, and pasted that over. So you can just do that by highlighting, copying, and pasting in the title from the old website to the new website and save. Okay. And then down here we just have an H1 that says hello world. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. We won't need that one anymore. All right. And what we'd like to do, if we take a look in the browser here, is we'd like to create a similar kind of fixed width that is centered. So previously we were using a class called wrapper to accomplish this by setting its margin to 0 auto and giving it a fixed width. Now in Bootstrap we have something similar here, which is a div with the class of container. So we can say div.container and hit tab and open that up. And I'll just leave a comment here that this is the closing of the container, like so. And we'll go inside here. Okay, so the container is going to group all of our content together. It's going to give it a fixed width, and it's going to center it for us. So the next thing we'd like to do is create this navigation bar here at the top. Okay, so that's spanning like all of this wrapper, or all of the container in our case. So what we'll do is we'll create a div with a class of row. So we'll just go inside of here and we'll create a single column -sm, meaning that under 768 pixels, multiple columns will structure vertically. And then we'll do 12, meaning that it will be a single column that will span the 12 units of the grid system all the way across. Okay, and inside of here will be the navigation bar. Okay, I'm just going to put this place filler text here for now. Later on, we'll come in and we'll paste in some CSS snippets that Bootstrap gives us that will allow us to quickly and easily build a navigation bar. For now, since we're just focusing on layout, I'm just going to put some placeholder text there for it. So after the navigation bar on the old site, we had like this main content section that showed the featured property, which had a large image and some text. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create another row, div.row. Okay, and then inside of that row, we will create another class of column-small-12 because we want it to span all the way across the top. Okay, so this one here will be the featured property. We'll go inside of here. Let's go ahead and jump over to the old site here, and let's go and find the featured property section, which is right here, featured property. And this had the image, the intro pic image here, and the paragraph, a large paragraph of text inside of that. So we'll just go ahead and copy that content there, and we'll just go ahead and paste this in like that. So we'll go down below that, and we'll see what comes next. So after the featured property, we have the promotional video, and then next to the promotional video, we have the company news. So let's go ahead and create a row to hold both of those things. So this is a row that will appear below the featured property, and we'll have two columns this time. So we'll have the first column, we would like to span 2/3 of the space. So if this is a 12 column structure, this will span 8 of the 12, and this will span 4 of the 12. Okay, so we'll do column-small-8. Okay, and this is going to end up being like the promotional video is what will end up going here. I'll just put a placeholder for now. And then after that, we will have another column that will have the class of column-small-4. Okay, and this one will be the company news. We'll go here. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the content for this then. So here is the section with the ID of promotional that had the figure inside of it that has a video linking to our real estate videos, an MP4 and an OGV, which during the last code along we've already copied over there. So we can just go ahead and paste this right here. So we can go ahead and copy this and paste this here. Okay, and then the company news is pretty simple. It's just an H3 and a paragraph, so we'll just insert that here. All right, and then we'll save. All right, excellent. The next thing after that is we have 3 columns for the details section. So we'll create another row. All right, and inside of this row, we will have 3 columns. So these guys will span 1/3 of the space. So we'll use 4. 4 times 3 is 12, right? One thing that's really cool about the Emmet plugin with Sublime Text is we know that if we hit tab now, it's going to create a single div with that class of column-4. So it's a little bit faster to write. We can just write the shorthand and then hit tab, and it will write the HTML for us. Another cool thing about the Emmet plugin is you can also use the multiply symbol by doing shift and the number 8. Or that, the star symbol or the multiply symbol, and then say the number of instances of this div we'd like to create. So we can say ×3 and then hit tab, and it will actually create 3 of those for us, which that's pretty cool. So this first one will end up being the contact section, The next one is links, I believe. And I think the third column here is the social one where you follow via social links. So yeah, we have contact, links, and follow. So let's go ahead and grab the content from there. So here we have the contact content. We'll just paste this in. And here we have links. Okay, so we'll paste the links in there. And we have the follow section right there. Okay, so we're just kind of copying the content out and moving it into our own column structure. All right. And then last but not least, we have the footer here at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and create one last row. And inside of it, we'll create a div with a class of column small dash 12 to span all of the space. And I guess we just have the copyright symbol here and some text that says the date and all rights reserved. Okay. There we go. So that's the footer there. And it's all inside of the container. So again, we have a container class that's, in this case, centering our content, keeping it a fixed width. And then we have a class of row, which is giving us our vertical separation. It's separating, you know, like this row from this row here, right? That's a vertical separation. And then inside of it, we have columns. So this is one column, and we're giving it a size of 4, so it will span 4 units, another 4 units of the 12, and another 4 units of the 12, each taking up 1/3. Okay, so that is excellent. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And let's jump back to the browser and see what we have so far. So I'm going to come back to the page in the browser and refresh. Cool, so this is the placeholder where it says navigation bar. Here is the section previously that was for the featured property. Then down here we have this guy, which is the spanning 8 column. And if we want to see the actual, you know, the widths and the sizes of these, we can inspect element here. And we can see that if we hover over column dash small dash 8, that it is in fact taking up 8 units of that 12. And then if we come down here to the next column, we can see company news is taking up 1/3 or 4 units of that 12. Okay. And then down here, same thing. For the details section here, we have this guy's taking up 1/3, the contact, links is taking up another, and follows taking up another 1/3. Okay, that's by using the class of column dash small dash 4. Okay. And then of course the footer down here on the bottom is taking up all of the space, all 12, right? So far so good. The only thing really that I want to do now is I want to make sure that this image is actually taking up all of the space in the container, or rather in the row that it's in. And same with this video here. So in Bootstrap, under CSS and images, they actually do have a class called image-responsive, and this sets the max width to 100% and the height to auto. And what I want to do is, because this image is smaller than the actual width of the Bootstrap container, I actually want to set its width, not only its max width, but its width to 100%, so I can actually stretch the image out. You know, in practice, we would want to actually resize the image in Photoshop to match our container width. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a bit and just use a previous responsive class that I wrote. Let's go ahead and go back to the previous Exceptional Realty website and go to the CSS style.css here. And if we scroll down, there should be some code for all media here. It basically says media, image, video, audio, iframe, tables, and forms should all have a width of 100%, stretching them to whatever their parent container is. and max width 100, which is for responsiveness, so it doesn't get any larger than the container that it's in. So this is slightly different from the Bootstrap image responsive class. So I'm going to go ahead and use mine instead of Bootstrap's, which is one of the nice things about using frameworks is you can make use of all of the CSS the framework uses, or you can even, like use your own. And then if we come back over here, you can see in the CSS folder that the only CSS we have is the bootstrap.css style sheet. And it's really a best practice not to interfere with the Bootstrap CSS code. We want to keep that code separate from our own. So if we write our own styles, we're going to do it in our own separate style sheet. And we're going to go ahead and make a new file by doing touch css/style.css. So we're creating a style.css file inside the CSS folder. Okay, and now we can double click on that here to bring it up. So we'll just highlight that, copy and paste. Okay, and then we'll save. And lastly, we just want to link to the CSS style sheet from our index page. So we'll go into our index page and up to the top. And what we want to do is we want to go after our Bootstrap CSS, and that's where we want to then link to our custom style sheet. Okay, so here we'll just say link, and we'll point it to css/style.css, and we'll go ahead and save, and we'll come back and refresh. Okay, excellent. So now our image is the width of the slightly larger Bootstrap container, and our video is also the same size as the container. Now if I start scrolling the screen inward here, you can see they're still going to behave responsively, which is quite nice. And same for the image up here. Okay. Another thing for the layout I think I want to change is I want each row to have some space after it. These rows are right up against each other. So I think what I'll do here is I'll also come in and go back to my style.css, and I'll simply say, we'll create another one here called, we'll call this one layout styles, I guess. Layout styles. We'll come down here and we'll say that anything that has that Bootstrap class of row should also have margin on the bottom of 20 pixels. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that and come back and refresh, and now we have a little bit of a space there. That's a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Starting to like this. So we're going to come back here and we'll call get status. All right, and we can go ahead and call get add, and there's two files here. One is the style.css. We also want to add our changes here to index. So we have index.html as well, and we will commit these changes, and we'll just say finish layout. Of course, we didn't really add the layout on all the other pages, but for this example, I'm just going to build the layout for the index page. So we'll go ahead and push this guy up. We'll make a copy of it essentially on our origin remote for this layout branch here. So now we pushed up the layout branch in case we want to work with that later. And let's go ahead and check out master. And let's merge this in because I'm happy with the changes. So we'll do git merge layout. And we can push this up to master. So git push origin master. Okay. So if I come back to GitHub here and I refresh, previously we had, just the H1 with hello world. Now when I refresh, we have our container, our rows, and our column structure using the Bootstrap grid system.